ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीर् उत्तमश्लोके भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Okay. Chapter 9 verse 23. भक्त्यावेश्य मनो यस्मिन् वाचायन् नाम कीर्तयन् त्यजन् कलेवरं योगी मुच्यते काम कर्मभिः. The personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of his quitting the material body. Personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee. When does the personality of Godhead appear in the mind of the devotee? By attentive meditation, attentive devotion, attentive chanting of the holy name. So personality of Godhead who appears, what does he do? Releases the devotee from bondage of material activities at the time of his quitting the material body. So all our karma bandhana is released at the time of quitting the material body, which means that anyway. So it's we'll read the purport and then we'll come to this. Yoga means concentration of the mind detached from all other subject matter. This is yoga. Concentration of the mind detached from all other subject matter. So now we can decide whether what we are doing is yoga or not. Is this the definition? And actually such concentration is samadhi, or 100% engagement in the service of the Lord. One who concentrates his attention in that manner is called a yogi. So this is so that is why this word attentive is very important. So any aspect, anything that we do in bhakti, be it our sadhana, seva, whatever it is, it has to happen with attention. That is attentive devotion. Everything. Then one who does that is called a yogi. Such a yogi, who is such a yogi means one who does all his activities with, by giving proper attention. Such a yogi devotee of the Lord, yogi normally is referred to Ashtanga yogi. So Prabhupada is clarifying. Yogi devotee Yogi devotee is somebody who might be following Ashtanga Yoga path but still wanting to achieve Krishna. Different yugas, different processes. Such a yogi devotee of the Lord engages himself 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord so that his whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord in ninefold devotional service, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, becoming a voluntary servant, carrying out orders, establishing a friendly relationship, or offering all that one may possess in the service of the Lord. Navavida Bhakti, yogi devotee, what does he do? Who is doing everything he with full attention 24 hours daily engages in Navavida Bhakti. And what is the definition of Navavida Bhakti? Prabhupada is defining Shavanam, Kirtanam, hearing, chanting, Smaranam, remembering, Archanam, worshipping, then praying, Vandanam, Dasyam, then carrying out orders, establishing friendly relationship, offering all that one may possess in the service of the Lord. Now, the whole important part here is there are two things here. One is engrossed, the other is 24 hours daily. So please remember these three words. 24 hours daily, attention, engrossed. This is what will be called bhakti. This is bhakti. By such practice of yoga or linking up in the service of the Lord, one is recognized by the Lord Himself, as it is explained in Bhagavad Gita concerning the highest perfectional stage of samadhi. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmanam. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Ananyas chintayanto mam yajana paripasate. Tesham nithyabhyuktanam yogakshemam ahamyam. Ananya chetasa. So everywhere in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya, Ananya, Ananya. Ananya means this single pointed, engrossed attention. This is samadhi. The Lord calls such a rare devotee the best among all yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham. Such a perfect yogi is enabled by the divine grace of the Lord to concentrate his mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness. See, very beautiful. Please, we should try to understand this. Such a perfect yogi. Who is this perfect yogi? He is trying to engage 24 hours in bhakti. He's trying to be engrossed. His whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord. Whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord 24 hours daily. He's a perfect yogi. Such a perfect yogi is enabled by the divine grace of the Lord to concentrate his mind upon the Lord. So to be able to concentrate the mind upon the Lord is the divine grace of the Lord. And how? With a perfect sense of consciousness. What is this perfect sense of consciousness? That I am the servant, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I have to serve him, to please him. And of course, at a higher stage in our constitutional position. So, by the divine grace of the Lord, a perfect yogi who is engaged 24 hours daily with his whole attention engrossed with thoughts of the Lord, for such a devotee, the Supreme Lord, by his divine grace, enables him to concentrate his mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness. And thus, by chanting his holy name before quitting the body, the yogi is at once transferred by the internal energy of the Lord to one of the eternal planets where there is no question of material life and its concomitant factors. So Prabhupada is explaining how how it works actually, how the process actually works. So if you understand this much, we can perfectly do bhakti, no confusion. Hmm? So again, I'm repeating 24 hours daily with whole attention engrossed with thoughts of the Lord in Navavida Bhakti. If you live life like that, what happens? Then the Lord, by His divine grace, enables, He'll enable us to concentrate our mind upon Him with perfect sense of consciousness when at the time of quitting the body. So our mind we'll be able to concentrate our mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness, and by taking His holy name, we'll be transferred to wherever we want to go. Obviously, that should be eternal spiritual world where there's no question of material life and its concomitant factors. So the point here is that if we live our life like this, 24 hours daily, attention engrossed with thoughts of the Lord, then the Lord's grace, by the Lord's grace, we'll be able to concentrate our mind on the Lord, take His holy name, and go back to Godhead at the time of quitting this body. Now here, 24 hours daily. These are the activities. And with attention engrossed. We have to live like this. We are far from that, but we can please understand this where we have to go. In material existence, a living being has to endure the material conditions of threefold miseries, life after life, according to his fruitive work. Such material life is produced by material desires only. Material desires, good cause of our suffering, our entanglement. So we have to just change the nature of our desires. Instead of having material desires, we should have spiritual desires. Material desires bind us, spiritual desires release us from this bondage. Devotional service to the Lord does not kill the natural desires of the living being, but they are applied in the right cause of devotional service. This qualifies the desire to be transferred to the spiritual side. So this is spiritual desire. General Bhishmadeva is referring to a particular type of yoga called Bhakti Yoga. And he was fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence before he quitted his material body. He therefore desired that the Lord stay before his view in the following verses. Bhishmadeva, he was a general. Prabhupada is saying this, that he was not a sannyasi, he was a general. He was fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence. Why was he fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence? Because he had lived his life like this. One might say he was a general. He was a general, but his consciousness, he was always engrossed in the attention of the Lord, in thoughts of the Lord. Such a beautiful, intense verse actually. Actually, just going into the depth of these statements, it feels like, yes, definitely it is possible. We can also come to this. We can also come to this stage whereby Krishna's mercy, we'll be able to think about him at the time of death. All we have to do is this. Actually, I keep thinking, about why we keep getting distracted. Why we keep getting distracted. It's so nice when we read these verses. Oh, okay, we become very, enthused. Yes, I should be 24 hours daily, absorbed in the attention, in thoughts of the Lord. And then we get stuck with so many other things. It's because of just long-standing forgetfulness. That's all is our problem. Long-standing forgetfulness. We've been forgetful of the Lord for many, many lifetimes. So naturally, we tend to forget Him. So when we, that is why this repeated Nityam Bhagavata Seva is important, because every day we'll remind ourselves, oh, no, 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 see, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I need to be doing. Not this, I should not be getting entangled in all these material things. It's okay. If I have some duty to do, I'll do it, but I'm not going to get entangled, because that entanglement is going to just hold me in this, threefold miseries of material life. It will not let me go to the Lord. Hmm. So the most important is this desire, spiritual desire. We should have spiritual desire. Only that spiritual desire can take us out, can pull us out. Actually, it doesn't matter if we have multiple material desires, it's fine. But we should have at least one very powerful spiritual desire. And if we are able to maintain that spiritual desire, nurture that spiritual desire to the extent that it becomes more greater, the pull of the desire becomes more greater than the other material desires, automatically it will take us out. Simply one desire, one spiritual desire, whatever it is, could be anything. It depends on each individual. All of us are individual jivas. We have our own, we can have our own desires. But there should be one spiritual desire which is like just haunting us day in, day out. If you have just one spiritual desire, that's good enough. Actually, all of us can do one exercise. I was just thinking about this in the morning. In one day of our life, we can do it every day. It's a very good exercise to be done every day before sleeping, maybe. Think about all the things that we did from morning till night, and think about how many of them were actually um, about this material world, which are preventing us from actually going to Krishna. What are those things that are blocking us? Because if I immediately now, if I ask anybody saying that, okay, would you want to follow all this? Yes, everybody will say yes. I don't think there's anybody in this group who will say, no, no, I don't want to follow this. I don't want to come to this stage. Isn't it? So the question really is, then there is something which is holding us back. What is it? So for each of us to understand ourselves, we should do this exercise. What are the things that are blocking me from one, even having a spiritual desire, two, nurturing that spiritual desire, three, achieving that spiritual desire? What is blocking me? What all are blocking me? What all things are blocking me? Right? Because at least we should develop the desire. At least we should have the desire. Hmm. If you don't have the spiritual desire, maybe first you should try to uh, figure out that, what is that? Why is it that I don't have a spiritual desire? Hmm. And then maybe we should have a spiritual desire. It could be anything. And how does that spiritual desire come about? Just simply by Shravanam, hearing Prabhupada. Right. So just one definition I wanted to give yesterday in first canto. By the way, so I started that Srimad Bhagavatam study in first canto. In first canto, one verse, Prabhupada is defining reading versus hearing. So he's saying reading means without anybody's help, meaning uh, by my own effort, by my own ability. That is reading, which means I will simply take Srimad Bhagavatam scripture in Sanskrit and I will start reading. This is reading. What we are all are doing is hearing, right? Because whatever is being given now is actually given by Prabhupada. So we should not confuse with reading. We are not doing reading. We are not qualified to do reading. We're simply doing hearing. We are hearing from Prabhupada. And then whatever we have heard, we will chant. We'll glorify. We'll repeat. Yeah, Chiranjeev Prabhu. Chiranjeev Prabhu, you had a question or comment? Hare Krishna. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. When you were just reading this and saying to, I just asked I asked Ankul. I said, why is it like when you're continuously in spiritual this thing, doing reading or doing DT service or something, after some time you want to break from it and do something material. But vice versa, it never happens. If you're in the then he answered yes, but I would like, he said because the taste is not there.
Yeah.
And you're so engrossed in sense gratification that the spiritual life becomes a little monotonous, or you start feeling burden. You should have a taste and a taste.
Yeah,
Would
yeah,
you
yeah.
would you would you could you also explain a little bit more,
No, no,
Prabhu?
absolutely. I think Vishayavinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. See that rasa, that is the reason. See, actually, I will actually go one more thing I want to add to that, right? Why is it that we don't have taste?
Yes.
That's what we need to answer actually. See, we are all engaged in, we are all doing some services, right? We are all doing some services, right? Why is it that we have not developed that taste? Any thoughts? Why is it that we have not developed the taste?
Like janam janam ka mail bhara pada hai, that's why.
Janam janam ka mail. Okay, let's think about this for a moment, right? I was just
Because
thinking today. Suppose if I stand in front of Radha Madhav, right? If I stand in front of Radha Madhav in Mayapur, what happens to me?
Tentatively.
About
What
10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes you
Ah,
absorb.
yeah,
After
you're
that
absorbed.
again you start feeling. After that again you start feeling. Okay, chalo yahan se chalte hain, ho gaya. Some material thought. I'm talking about myself. Excuse me if I'm hurting anybody's sentimental. Like after that you want to go out. You want to come out of the temple or something. I mean that stipulated period. For 5 minutes,
Okay.
2 minutes, 10 minutes you absorb. Then again something material catches on.
Okay,
The
no
mind
problem. So
is so
yeah,
restless.
yeah,
Why?
okay.
Why?
So yeah, so okay, my analysis of this, right? Prabhupada actually in Bhagavad Gita he writes one beautiful line actually for this. He says that we are restless because we don't have an ultimate goal. Prabhupada writes this statement. The mind is restless because it doesn't have an ultimate goal. So if we have an ultimate goal, it's a very nice thing actually. That's why Prabhupada's statements, we should remember these things. Whenever I read Prabhupada's books, I make note of these statements because these statements will come in handy like this. There's a question, this is the answer. The mind doesn't have an ultimate goal. What does that mean? Actually, we still don't have a very clear goal of our life. We're still not very clear. We are like one leg here, one leg there. And when we have one leg here, one leg there, obviously our mind will also be one leg here, one leg there. Right? So the question is, do we have a one ultimate goal in life? And what is the idea of this goal? The idea of this goal should be, this is the same thing I'm talking about, spiritual desire. The idea of that goal should be that it should be haunting us. Right? No, if we have not come to a stage in our bhakti where we don't have some really pulling spiritual desire, something really dragging us, then this is bound to happen. So the question really that all of us need to answer is that same exercise that I said, right? Do we have a spiritual desire in our life? Do we have 1, 10, 100? At least do we have one spiritual desire? Do we have an ultimate goal in our life? Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? That the root cause is actually the lack of a strong desire. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
It does.
So let me explain, right? So for example, suppose say my goal, whatever, is to become whatever is to earn. Nowadays, crorepati hai to like cheap ho gaya abhi. Right? Something else, whatever, Arabpati, something, right? Something I want to conquer South India, for example, right? Whatever, I don't know. I'm just like I don't even know what to say. Okay, so some big desire we want, right? Now, if I have the desire in my mind, then what I'll do, if that desire is really, really intense, then no, absolutely, I have to, I have to get this. I have to get this. Be it anything, material, spiritual, blah blah. It's a very simple thing. When I'm absorbed in the desire, every moment I become what? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi I become, which means that every moment my buddhi is just trying to, what, how can I achieve that? How can I achieve that? Hey, why are you wasting time uselessly? 2 hours gone in some nonsense. I could have achieved that. I could have gone one more, few more centimeters closer to my goal. So that goal, that desire, and that goal has to be spiritual. If that spiritual goal is there, there's no point, there's no way we can get distracted. We might get distracted just temporarily here and there, and then, but we will again beat ourselves saying, again wasted time, again wasted time, again I'm going to know, I don't know whether I'm going to achieve it or not. This anxiety should come. How many of us, okay, let me ask this question. Krishna is, like putting words into my mouth. How many of us are anxious of not reaching spiritual world? We are anxious that we might just remain stuck here. How many of us are anxious about this? Hmm? If we are really anxious, saying that no, come what may, I have to go there, I have to be with Krishna and Radha. If that can become our meditation, that anxiety, if we are gripped by that anxiety, mind is going to work with us. Mind will not then haath nahi dega mind. Mind will not get distracted. Mind will not pull us here and there. But provided that desire is mine, that goal is mine, I'm deeply absorbed in that. I absolutely want it. Chahiye, chahiye. No way. I'm anxious of failing. I'm anxious of remaining in this material world. Right? If we can get to this state, then there's no way our mind can distract us doing useless things. Of course, I mean, the vasanas are very, very strong. They'll keep pulling us. But it'll be much, 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 much lesser. Much lesser. Like maybe 5% of our time we might lose doing some nonsense. That too be maybe we are just being forced by some nonsense thoughts. That's all. Right? So it is that spiritual desire that is most important. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. See, this qualifies the desire to be transferred to the spiritual sky. So now the next question comes. Why is it that I don't have a desire? Okay, how many of us here, just see if you can raise your hands. How many of us here have a spiritual desire?
Wavering, Prabhu.
No, we should have a fixed spiritual desire. Like fixed, meaning I absolutely want it, want it, want it, want it, want it. That's all. Like I will, like a child, I will sit down and start, like throwing up my hands and legs and making a big ruckus if I don't get it. That kind of absolute, I absolutely want it, want it, want it. Mujhe chahiye. Like, just imagine a child making a big, this one, like that,
For example, when you're drowning in water, then that
right? So what about others? Why are others not having a spiritual desire? Not having that kind of a strong spiritual desire? I only see some 3, 4 hands raised. I mean, unless
Prabhu,
others don't know how to raise
Prabhu,
hands.
I raised by mistake probably.
You
I don't
raised by
have that
mistake.
strong desire, at least a little bit, a little lighter
I was
version
very
of the desire. Sorry.
I was very
Then I
happy actually
immediately
to
lowered
see
my
your
hand.
I was very happy to see your hand go up. Maybe Krishna is telling you something.
Sorry, bro.
Huh?
I mean,
No, no,
not
sorry, kyun? Maybe Krishna is telling you something. Think about it. Right? Maybe others are very humble. I'm not humble. I want to lift my hand. I have a spiritual, strong spiritual desire. And I'm not humble. I'm this arrogant beast, right? But see, it's very important. We have to understand why is it that we don't have a spiritual desire? What is preventing us from having that spiritual desire? Really, I mean, I don't know. Others who have not lifted their hands, either they're bored of lifting their hands or they're humble not to lift their hands. I don't know what the reason is, but we have to think. I mean, see, if we don't have that spiritual desire, what is it that we need to do? Okay, who wants to answer this? Fine.
Hare Krishna
Hare,
Prabhu.
Hare
Actually,
Krishna.
I heard one class.
Huh.
Okay, in spiritual, if we think we have to be like this, when we are drowning in water, then we feel somebody should save.
Hmm.
So that way, how to swim, not to swim, and like that way you are in there. That if a desire is there, how to I should get out from this actually. This will pull that desire is there, then only we can reach the goal actually of spiritual life actually.
Yeah, but actually, Prabhu, there are two things here, right? See, this just getting out of this material misery is just mukti, is just liberation.
Not a
It's
will
not
pull means reach to goal. Because we want to reach reach the
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So let me. I want to just slightly. My approach is slightly different, right? So what I am saying here is, yes, we are in this whirlpool of material problems and challenges and this and that, all that. What is that which can actually give us that desire bigger than this, all these entanglements that we are stuck in? Uh, and that means that our desire should be based on something very, very strong, right? It should not just be on the platform of escaping from this material world. It should be something much, much, much bigger, which will attract us like crazily, which we have not experienced so far.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? See, when we are looking at this material world, okay, TK, I mean, I have a problem. Fine, I might be able to get over it. Whatever, okay. Somebody else is in a better situation, somebody else is in a worse situation. And this has been going on. Puna puna charvita charvananam. I mean, with this life we have been leading, right? There's no surprise, right? We've been living this life, multiple lifetimes we have lived like this. Okay, fine, whatever, I have some material desires. But is there something which is beyond our experience, which is something which will actually really pull us, put us on that overdrive, saying that no, this I need to absolutely get. I need to absolutely get. Right? If we have not developed that desire, what should we do? First of all, let's be very clear, right? If this spiritual desire is not there in our life, we will keep our one leg is here, one leg is there. Yeah, something we will keep doing. It's not that we will not make progress, right? I'm not discouraging. Absolutely, we will make progress, but it's not that slam dunk. You know what is slam dunk in basketball? There's this one saying that, yeah, in that over playing basketball, he'll go and hold the ring and then make a goal, right? It's called slam dunk, meaning it's perfect, done, dusted. I mean, like nothing. Nobody can come and block that basket, right? It's like slam dunk, meaning done, right? We will absolutely achieve it. It's that kind of craziness, right? Laulyam, our Acharya says greed. We should have that greed. We should have that spiritual greed, absolutely. Like I said, even if we have some material desire, it's okay, it doesn't matter. It will phika pad jayega, right? They say phika pad jayega, right? Like it'll be in some time, right? But what is most important is that spiritual desire. Just imagine for a moment. I'm putting one thought into all of your minds. Just imagine for a moment that we are there in a situation where Radha and Krishna are talking to each other, laughing, giggling, and then all these, great Sakhis. And it's the most beautiful setup. The Radharani is the most beautiful. The Sakhis are the most beautiful. Krishna is the most beautiful. It's the most beautiful Vrindavan. It's the best environment. It's the best, vision. It's the best situation that anybody can get into. And there somewhere we are standing. We are standing and, actually, Bhakti Vinod Thakur describes in his, I think, where is that Padyavali? I think. No, I can't remember where. Uh, so he describes his entry into Goloka. And he says that, he's there, he's like, he's a Manjari, so he's a little girl, he's standing there somewhere without knowing what to be done. And then what happens? Then Rupa Goswami calls her, and says, "Oh, new Sakhi, come, 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 let's engage in service of Radha and Krishna." Right? I mean, just imagine, just you are there, whatever you want to be. You want to be a Sakha, you want just be in in that environment of perfect beauty, perfect harmony, perfect bliss, perfect everything. You're just there for a moment. Just think, will this make me happy? What is the feeling that I'm getting when I'm just thinking about being there in the spiritual world with Radha and Krishna? What is it? What is it? I mean, is it like strong enough? Are we excited thinking about this? Are we thinking, nah, what is this? I mean, anyway, it doesn't matter. How does it matter if I'm there with Radha or Krishna? Uh, so what is the feeling that we are getting when we hear this? Just being there.
Yeah, I mean, feels like you want to be there.
No,
Hearing.
feels like nahi, ye to not strong enough. Not strong enough, right? Of course, I'm not a poet, right? I'm not a great, my description wouldn't be so apt, but I'm leaving it to your imagination, right? All of you are possibly much better in terms of description, but just imagine being there around. Just imagine that you are actually able to get on to, I mean, it's my desire, it's my dream, right? Uh, Radha Madhav altar, Mayapur. I just feel like, oh my God, I mean, literally, if you're there, you're one of those, dearest servants of Radha and Krishna in the midst of all these exalted Sakhis. I mean, what more would anybody want? It's just, for me, I'm lost, I'm short of words. Is there anything bigger than this? Is there anything that is more attractive than this? Be it anywhere, in material world, in spiritual world, I can't think of anything else. And of course, I mean, it might not also be because what is this? What is this? Oh, what am I trying to say? This is the power of Shravanam. This is the power of Shravanam because I have read. I'm just saying because I'm just giving you an example because I've read about this. It's that picture is there in my mind saying that this is Goloka. This is Vrindavan. This is Radha. This is Krishna. These are the gopis. This is what is going on there. And when I think about this, I say like, what nonsense? What am I doing here? What nonsense? Why am I wasting my life here? So the point is that if we don't have this intense desire, we have to simply engross ourselves in more and more and more Shravanam. And that is why this Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Right? We should get to a stage, like in the beginning only, right? In the Mangalacharya it says, like by just oral reception of this great scripture, spotless Purana, Lord becomes established in our heart irrevocably, meaning he'll not move. He'll be fixed in our heart by simply studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we have that desire, we can't get distracted. Our mind can't pull us here and there because mind, see, this desire is of the soul. Today, the material desires are also of the soul. And that is why mind is engaged in dragging us, saying that, hey, by the way, don't lose yourself. Don't forget yourself in front of Radha Madhav. It's just like temporary. But your real desire is this, come, hello, let's go. This is what the mind is doing to us today, right? Don't make the mind the culprit. The soul, we are the culprit. We don't have that desire. If you develop that serious spiritual desire, mind will simply align. Mind will say, yes, sir, I'll work for it. Simple. This context switch has to happen. And this happens through purification. The more Bhagavatam, more chanting, more associating with pure devotees will take us there. So please develop this desire. Please develop this desire. And there's no other answer. There is no other answer. Because then automatically this attention when we are doing service, all this automatically will come. All this automatically come. Of course, those who it can also grow bottoms up, meaning we are very attentive. Somebody has told, do this service nicely. Okay, we are putting our 100% attention. By that also we get mercy and we will make progress to such a stage that we actually end up developing this desire. But the key is to develop this desire, and that is the reason why the Shravanam Kirtanam is the most important of our processes, right? Because by solid quality Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada, this desire, material desire, will appear, manifest in our heart. That is the answer. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? We're already done.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Like today in the group you've put about reading the Bhagavatam. So this will be extra. You're
Yeah,
going to
extra because I mean some
no,
devotees
because
were
I don't
saying.
want these classes to be replaced by it.
No. This class won't be replaced because I won't have time to do that reading. That is just for like I was, Pratyusha Mataji was saying that she had a good experience reading. It helped her to actually make progress, move forward with her reading, etc. That they were doing that during Corona time. So she was suggesting. So I said, yeah, we can try if devotees are free. Basically, it'll be like a 1 hour reading. So yesterday I did my 1 hour Srimad Bhagavatam. I was able to finish about 40 pages. But I think it's a bit tough for everybody to do 40 pages. So but if you can commit 1 hour, I think it'll help you in making steady progress in reading, right? So if devotees are interested, basically I don't know, working people, if people here are working and who still want to join, maybe 7 to 8 is something in the evening. That might work for some.
There are other groups also, Prabhu, who are reading Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada's this thing, and Sri Hari Prabhu is also taking Bhagavatam reading in the evening. So 6 to
Okay.
7. I can just post that if the timings are like they're doing.
Yeah, but if they've
continuous
already
reading.
started, I mean, if
Yeah,
devotees
they are
want to
just
start
starting,
from
yes.
the beginning, then
Beginning.
I don't know how it will help.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. So if devotees want to start, I mean, see, the basic idea is of creating study groups. Right. If you can create your own groups, that's fine too. The idea is somehow push yourself to read every
No,
day.
Prabhu, like if you're there and sometimes when you're reading and if you don't understand something, I mean, not all, I mean, we should be reading only. It's always nice to have somebody senior.
Okay, then you should be there, Mataji.
Oh yes, Prabhu, sure I should be there. No, just जिनको क्यों बेचारों को slaughter house भेज रहे हो प्रभु जी? मैं अपने आप को सुधार लूं फिर किसी को सुधारूं. मैं पहले किसी को मैं अपने आप को सुधार लूं फिर किसी को सुधारूं ना प्रभु. Put your oxygen mask before you put it to others.
Yeah, okay, so it depends. I mean, if we can, I cannot commit every day because I have Tuesday and Wednesday I have Thursday I have other classes. So maybe I don't know if devotees are really for it, if they think that it's going to help.
After that, somebody can take lead.
Yeah, actually, Pratyusha Mataji, you can lead this seva because my availability, I can come in, like I said, maybe Monday and Friday I can join in something like that. But Pratyusha Mataji is anyway had a good experience, and she also is also helping with other reading sessions, so she can also do. If more devotees are inclined, then we can do 7 to 8. 4 people showed interest. Others, I don't know if you are interested, you can join. Maybe.
I'll also
Okay.
join, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Okay, so Pratisha Mataji, let's do that. You can, if it works for you,
Yes,
7 to 8, you can put up. I can, if you have Google Meet, whatever, anything is fine.
Yes.
You can just share the link on the group and start. You can start
I'll
from
do that.
today.
Today, is it going to be 5 days a week or 6 days a week, Prabhu?
5, let's do 5, I think.
Okay, so Monday to Friday. We'll start
Yeah.
from Monday. Is it okay?
Yeah, today is Friday. Okay, yeah, start from Monday.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Monday to
Hare
Friday is good. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so those who want to join, please join. Somehow, see this reading, I'm just again re-emphasizing. It's just by this hearing from Srila Prabhupada that we will actually develop spiritual desire, right? So, so we have to, as much as we effort as we can put there, how much will our drive to our desire, become strong, and then we'll obviously work towards getting out of this mess. Okay, so we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat
Hare
pranam.